Welcome back to the Main Beam Podcast, episode 24. I'm one of your hosts, Brady Stockman.
Spencer Mertens.
Adam Weaver.
Alan Richard.
Let's go. Episode 24. We don't have an agenda for this episode. We've been sitting down here bullshitting for like the past hour already, trying to think of something to talk about. But
yeah, we were thinking about telling all of our most tragic hunting stories, but Alan's never had a tragic event because he kills everything he sees. So
yeah, and Spencer's just a straight murderer too.
Yeah, so. Although there's plenty of turkey hunts I can think of that probably didn't go so well.
We'll have to do it sometime for sure, because I can think of like...
They're not as personal as deer.
Yeah, I mean, I can think of probably 5 or 6 deer that I severely messed up on that would have been like wall hangers.
You boys have plenty of stories. I mean, the old switcheroo. That happened to Landon, didn't it?
Yeah, that happened to Landon. Yeah, we've told that one a couple times on here already, but
it's so tragic every time.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a handful more of a couple of them that we just were never able to catch up with that I'd like to tell at some point on here, but we might have to wait for Landon because he can drum up some conversation.
Or even last podcast, if you didn't catch that, Cade and his dad, big body deer.
Yeah,
I mean, that's some tragic stories right there. We'll have to have his dad on the podcast.
Yeah.
You'll never have time for him.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Say.
He's always busy.
Maybe if we catch him at deer camp.
What's today's date?
The 13th of May.
The 13th of May. Crop's going in the ground. A lot of places it's already growing, so.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. A lot of corn is already about 3 or 4 inches tall.
I was going to say, if you want some corn or soybeans in your plot, you better be getting on it.
Yeah. Big time.
Yep.
I think I might just go for clover this year. I don't know. Something easy.
Yeah. A lot of our clover plots are looking good. Tebbett's was looking Tebbett's always has some. We don't take super great care of it just because it's kind of a blow-off farm, but there's always a big deer running around it. But I ought to take a little bit. Yeah, it's established clover. It needs to be sprayed with cleth, but I mean it's got a little bit of grass in it, but it's good. So I'm looking forward to it this year. We didn't have a camera over there at all last year. The neighbor sent us pictures of a big old giant.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not going to get, corn or beans in the ground, at least go put up some cameras, which I'm fixing on doing here soon. I put up a couple.
Yeah.
Near some of the spots that we've been to in the past. But
yeah, I think more or less this is like a really great time, not necessarily to deploy cameras as far as, in search of a big deer, but I think it's a good time if you're gonna acquire new property and like get ready to,
Spencer
to
and I have a few dates together to go call a bunch of permission farms, hopefully,
or door knock.
Probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Did you throw my phone down?
No, it's right there.
Oh, I was gonna say I heard it buzz and I was like, what? Okay, never mind. I was like, damn, where'd my phone go?
Yeah. But right now Landon can't make it because he's in South Dakota.
Yeah, here in the either next episode or the episode after, depending on once we get Matt scheduled. I'd like to get him and Matt in here together, and they can talk about South Dakota. I unfortunately had to eat my tag on that. Just with work, we couldn't both go, so I just said, well, go ahead and go. And Matt had already taken the time off work and had it scheduled, so.
Such a good guide too, so I'm sure they had a blast.
Yeah, I'm sure it was fun. They got out there with Connor. Brockhouse, I'm pretty sure is how you pronounce his name. I wouldn't mind having him on. I don't know if they're twins, but him and his brother are straight killers. I mean, mule deer, turkey, if it's in their path, you better watch out because they're gonna kill it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to have them on at some point, but hopefully they made a good connection out there, and hopefully maybe we can all go back out there next year and get on some. I'd like to go for a week.
Dude, if we could all go, that would be pretty sweet. And just do dispersed camping.
Yeah.
And just hunt as you go.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty awesome.
It's a long drive, but they drove out and seen Mount Rushmore and all kinds of stuff. So.
Wow. Yeah, I've never been up to that part of the country, and
I haven't either.
Yeah, I had a couple of job offers up there, but it's also getting expensive as I'll be out with. I think Wyoming is getting hit pretty hard from all the California moving over, and like Jackson Hole, like some of those amazing places where you can go and kill an elk within 50 miles of town.
Yeah,
but
I heard just because we snowboard every year, I heard Jackson Hole's getting to be a pretty. It's like
base price home. I was looking is like 1.2 million. Like, it's California going over there.
Yeah, that's what. On our way flying back from Colorado, one of the girls that we were sitting next to, that's where all she does is ski, and she was talking about Jackson Hole and about how popular it's gotten, how many liberals are out there now, and I was like, oh yeah, I don't know that I want to go anymore.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't bring all their
ideology with them.
Yeah, because that's the reason why there's folks out there that.
Speaking of Wyoming, though, I wouldn't mind turkey hunting in Wyoming. I know turkey hunting in Wyoming, they've got some pretty good Merriam hunts out there. They
pretty much got anything you really want to wrap your hand around, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they got grizzlies coming up from north.
Yep.
And then you got moose,
antelope. Yeah, I had a couple points out there, but I need to call them. I messed up, which I don't know if I've told it on the podcast before or not, but I had like 3 points out there for muleys, antelope, and I got a letter in the mail, or I tried to log in one time, or like 2 years ago to buy my points for the year, and I couldn't log in. I had it where I think I got a new phone. It was just on my like face unlock, but I couldn't log in. So, what happened was I misspelled my last name. So instead of Stockman, it was Sockman. So Brady Sockman had 3 points in Wyoming, and I didn't know what to do about it, and I should have called him, but I just got pissed off, so I just lost them all. But yeah, so I need to call them and either have them change that account or like reset up a new account so I can start.
You should just have them reset.
Apply or start drawing points again.
Pretty much, I'm just a dumbass and I need help fixing that.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I royally fucked up on it because I seen it and I was like, oh my God, like how did I not notice it for 3 years? Because even like here, or I think Kansas and Missouri is the same way. Like whenever you log in, it makes you go through like your name and your address and stuff and be like, oh, certify this information. And I just looked over it for 3 years. So if there's a Brady Sockman out there, you got some Wyoming points probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know how I messed that one up, but
yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah. Speaking of points, Kansas is going to draw. What'd you say today was the 13th? Kansas is going to draw next week already.
On what?
Deer tags.
Shoot. How do you?
It's done over.
Oh, I miss it every time.
I know. Everyone missed it but Spencer. Spencer bought 1 point, so Spencer will 100% draw next year more than likely.
Oh, good thing you told me about it.
Hey.
I texted everybody, did I not?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I thought I said.
I mean, you texted me, but
I'm pretty sure it was in the group.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I said if everyone's going to buy a Kansas point, you better.
Yeah.
Put
it. There's only $12.
I know I'll be only able to really go and do something fun out of state. For a few days will be something. So if it ends up being turkeys, it ends up being turkeys. And honestly, I probably would rather go turkey hunt out of state than
whitetail hunt.
Oh yeah.
No, but
until Benny gets old enough.
Yeah, then it'll be different. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Turkey, just whenever you don't have the history or know where they're at, you could just go out and call one in. Hopefully,
can't trophy hunt a turkey.
No.
Well, yeah, that, and I mean, it just any out of state trip to me, whitetail hunting, you're gonna have 3. Nick will say the same thing about honkers and shit. You're gonna have 3 days in it before you're even on a deer.
Right.
Yeah,
you'll see stuff, but nothing.
Yeah, I mean, it takes time to dial in where you're at and what the deer are doing. So I don't know. We always, which if it wasn't for Cole, me and Landon would be. I'm sure we'd be completely up in the air with it, but I've been e-scouting a lot of public for you guys out there.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah. We're excited to get out there when we can. I know Spencer looks like he'll have a opportunity next year, so that'd be good.
I'm looking at like a unit south of where we hunt, a unit east of where we hunt that's got some like big stuff on it, that way or big public ground, that way it's not like, oh, we're hunting small. Like it's got a lot of walking around it, but a lot of it's like 18 to 50,000 acres.
Okay.
So you'll have a lot of room to work, and especially muzzleloader season, there's not that many people out there.
Cool. Yeah, that'll be fun.
So it should be an interesting.
Might have to stick with Missouri for one more season, then try to.
Yeah.
I got some points in Colorado, but I don't know if I'm really gonna.
Yeah. Floyd had like 10 points in Colorado. And didn't, I don't know if Colorado's 1 year or 2 years where they'll like let you roll your points over, and he had 10 points and lost them all.
Oh man, that's terrible.
Yeah. But
what a waste. How much is a point for out there?
Just it all depends on what you buy.
You have to buy like a basic game tag, which is like $40, and then there's something else you have to buy. It ends up being like a $90 to get a point.
Yeah, I was gonna say most of the stuff, like even, well, Landon would know. He's got a couple Iowa points, but I think Iowa every year is like $100. So I mean, if you're talking 6 years to draw in the Southern Union, you got $600 in it before you even get your tag, and then I think the tags are where they're non-resident tags, $700
for Iowa.
Yeah,
for a deer.
Yeah,
I think it's about 620.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I want to say it's so you guys.
But that's
so you have $1,300 in your tag before.
That's if you get. I think that's if you draw a buck tag and then a doe tag.
Really?
I think all said and done, hunting habitat.
Yeah.
All that. It's like 620 something.
Well, see, here's one thing that pisses me off about Missouri, which the Cole McBee, they know a lot of people, so they talk to some of the different agencies and stuff. But like you got Iowa around Missouri, take Iowa, Kansas, the big buck states, Illinois. I don't know what a non-resident tag is in Illinois, but just say Iowa and Kansas. I have $700 to $800 in a Kansas tag before you even leave here. Iowa, you have, $1,000, $1,200 in it, and then our, not saying Missouri doesn't have big deer, but then our state's just open to everybody, and it's like, $220, you can come kill a buck.
And don't have to draw for it.
Just do the same thing with turkeys. I mean, the turkey tags are, what Landon spent $300 on one single turkey tag for Iowa.
Yeah.
And for here, you can buy 2 tags for I think $230.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I don't know. That's always been wild to me. But Cole was talking to someone, and he said Missouri will never change, never change the rifle, like the rut rifle season. He said whoever they talked to said just the revenue that first weekend of Missouri rifle season will generate Missouri $1 billion between food, hotels, just the economy, food, hotels, and stuff. So he said they'll never. Oh, I thought I cut out for a second. He said they'll never take that rifle season out of the rut, probably. No. But still, I wish we'd limit, which we have a strong population of deer, but I wish we would either jack tag prices up to equal the states around us, or go to a limited draw where where you could say, I don't know. That's my opinion, but. What do you think?
It may change down the road. Like, I think, if anything, it'll still be just as easy to purchase a tag, but it may just go up in price.
Yeah. Well, I wish it would just go up in price. I mean, we could generate a shit ton more money for, the MDC. MDC is one of the wealthiest.
And they could do more work on the public. I mean, they already do a lot, but think about with that much extra, inflow of money, how much more they could do.
Well, yeah. Imagine if you said tags went from $300 to $600, and they took that extra $300, put it away in an account, and said, okay, when we hit $10 million in this account, we're going to buy 10 farms for sale, $1 million a farm, and turn them into public.
But the thing is, I think per capita, Missouri has some of the most abundant amount of national park and state park
right
you can hunt, which is fine. But I would almost say within that, maybe a few more pieces. But if anything, go to those public land pieces and farm them better for habitat.
Oh yeah, I mean, they could do a lot. They could do a lot better of saying, okay, well now we have X amount of extra dollars. Let's pay, Joe Blow $50,000 a year, and your job's to, like Josh does, your job's to work on this public and strictly this public. You're going to do nothing but make it better for turkeys, deer, quail, and whatever.
Because there's plenty of spots I can think of on national forest land and state that there's just a ton of overgrowth that I know needs to get cleared out, and we can't do anything about it because, I mean, heck, to even put up your tree stand, you can't take down branches, you can't do any of that, you can't. Nothing to harm the local area. But if anything, I feel like a lot of us tend to just try to help it.
Right.
By cutting down some of those trees, but you can't,
Right.
So.
Well, I think it would take some pressure off of, well, maybe not, but I was going to say outfitting, as far as outfitting goes. I don't know. I know outfitters lease up a lot of ground as far because it's so easy to bring non-residents in because the tags are cheap
and the money's there. Then yeah.
But I just think they could do a whole lot better job of with that money, or they could do a lot more with that money.
We'll have to have somebody on, even have Josh back on and talk more about that and what kind of barriers are there in place that's limiting some of that.
I'd like to text Josh and see if he knows anybody that we could get in contact with to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Because, they could even throw some of the money into the elk program to help the.
I would love to have more elk local and get that booming. And I forget how much we brought in or how many elk we brought in, but I think the population.
Yeah, the population's doing fine down around that Peck Ranch in that southern Missouri area.
Yeah.
But I need to put in for the elk tag still.
Yeah.
I haven't put in yet.
It's this month, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, that you got black bear and you have elk. Who knows? Maybe out of 40,000 people, I'll get lucky and I'll draw one of the 40 tags.
Yeah. Yeah.
Better odds.
Or they give you 400. They give 400 tags. I've known 2 people that have
400 tags, but I think 40 can kill.
Yeah, you can, but they only ever kill like 12.
Yeah,
It's not a high success.
I'm gonna have to call an outfitter if I get a.
Well, what I've seen a couple people do on Facebook is, which honestly, if I drew one, I would do it. They just post it on Facebook and say, anyone who's got a regular black bear on their property in whatever unit, I'll give you $1,000 to come hunt it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I would do it to kill.
I don't think you can bait them or anything, right?
No, I don't think you can.
I don't think you can. I'm sure they're coming to corn piles for deer and all that, though. I'm sure.
Yeah, and I mean, they eat. I know I've listened to different ones talk about how many acorns and stuff they eat. I think more or less it's just finding them is the thing because they travel. Yeah. They travel so much. But I'd like to have someone on to talk about the bear because they do a lot of studies and stuff with them down there. Reese Neighbor's girlfriend, I think, has done some of it.
Yeah, I think I put in for like zone 3, so it's more of the northern zone of it. But I know they're there.
Oh, they're there.
What'd that cost?
$10 just.
It's $10 to apply for bear and $10 for elk, isn't it?
Yeah.
I would love to draw the elk tag here. You know how cool it'd be just go shoot a big old 6x6 in Missouri,
or even just a freaking spike buck.
Yeah, yeah.
It's Missouri, having a spike bull that'd be freaking awesome. But who knows? You need to apply and see if we can't be at least one of us lucky on it. Have you applied for it? Not yet. Yeah.
I mean, I applied for it the first year they had it, but
then you got your Iowa residency, so Alan can't actually apply.
Yeah,
that's true.
And I have a question. So all of that public up where you live and run around on, do they run cattle and all that?
Yeah, I was about to bring that up. A ton of it is run on cattle all year long until about right before like the first 2 weeks of
they pull it off right in September.
Yeah, early September.
When I was interning and working with the conservation departments up there in Iowa, all of their I guess properties they owned, they planted food plots or sunflower patches for dove hunting. They planted sorghum, milo. They took care of the marshes and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just don't. Besides Scrivener, I guess they plant that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some small stuff around here like.
Yeah, they don't plant as much as Iowa does.
No, like Plowboy, they just do some basic shit. The podcast is brought to you by HLRBO. As hunters, we are always looking for new places to find mature bucks. You can find leases all across the U.S. and Canada. The best part is it's 100% free to sign up. Get started and find your next property today. Like Josh was saying, till it up and throw some seed down. They don't fertilize it or nothing. So, I just think we could make a lot. We could make do with our resource a lot better than what we. Yeah. How we are doing it.
That's something I liked a lot about Iowa. Is like each county is different, but that's something they all did the same.
Yeah.
Was planted for food plots and stuff.
Even like I was saying, even if they took that, the account they had set aside or whatever, they hit X amount of dollars and they could say, okay, well, we got this property, and this property's 300 acres and they, come in. They said, okay, well, we're gonna do a limited draw for residents. You know, they could open it to however many residents a year, where you could draw, you hunt it a week, so and so else hunts it a week, maybe, or I don't know. I could just see a bunch of different things they could do with the extra money from tags.
Mm-hmm.
How many deer got shot this year?
I don't know.
The number's always like 250,000.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's usually $250,000. I think.
Have you seen the final report on turkeys too?
Yeah, we talked
almost 50,000.
Yeah. It was like
47 or 48,000 with youth season.
Yeah, it was a lot of birds.
That's double what we killed 4 years ago, I think. Yeah. Which is fucking nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Last year was 41, wasn't
it? 41. Yeah, 41 with youth season last year.
I'm very interested to see how this next year goes with the cicadas, because I've seen a lot already.
Oh yeah, dude, the cicadas are just now coming up here. I think the soil temperature has to hit 70 degrees for them to come up. I think
it has. Yeah, my chickens are having a heyday.
Yeah, and it's finally coming. It's finally coming. So like, I know just driving through town, you can see them all bunched up around trees. But I know they're predicting as long as we've had a lot of rain, but they're predicting really great turkey hatches with the cicadas.
MDC put. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I was about to say MDC put out a post that anywhere from 50,000 to 1.5 million cicadas every acre.
Every acre?
Every acre.
That is ridiculous.
Wow.
That's insane.
That's a lot of little noise bugs.
I didn't believe it, but I was like, I saw the page. I was like, well, I guess, depending on the climate and the microclimate of where they're all at. I mean, yeah, I could see that, I guess.
That's insane.
But 1.5 million in an acre?
Yeah, I just know they acted like between it's a very short term. Like NWTF had a thing on it today, but it's a very short term growth in turkeys. Like it's a 1 or 2 year, boom they see in it from the cicadas, but it may just be what a lot of these states need to get the population back up to where a better population.
And hopefully this rain isn't messing with nests much. And
that's the biggest thing with rain. I think a lot of people think rain and turkeys is flooding. Oh, it's going to flood out the nest. It's going to flood out the nest. To me, it's have you ever smelled a wet bird? They smell like shit. And I think they leave such a scent trail because the hens will get off the nest for 40 minutes to feed.
Well, that's what I was going to say. The hens probably don't have to feed very long anymore with the cicadas.
Yeah, well, that's true. But say that wet hen gets up and walks, even if she walks 100 yards, and a coyote cuts that 100-yard scent, boom, he's coming right to her. But
yeah, that's a good point.
That's what gets me with the rain. And we got plenty more of it coming, it looks like.
Yeah, I'm glad I cut my lawn.
Yeah, no kidding.
You need a bigger lawnmower?
Dude, I do. 54 inches just ain't cutting it. I just need to get a whole tractor out there.
Oh, yeah, so. That's all I know.
Yeah, but hopefully we can all get out. Man, I don't know if I'll be able to have a weekend until June to really get out there and plant anything, which is terrible because that's usually when it's not so wet anymore here in Missouri. But maybe we'll get lucky. But usually at the end of May, beginning of June, the last 2 years, I know it's been like a stint of 6-7 weeks of no rain, just dry.
Yeah,
I'm hoping this rain keeps. I mean, not like big abundance of rain, but
for whitetail's sake, I hope we keep getting these little spurts of rain.
Yeah.
Because I bet you this is helping them out a bunch right now.
I'd say if we continue to get the rain that we're getting now for the next month or two, deer are going to be
blowing up.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you they're going to be 5 to 7 inches bigger this year than they were last year.
Let's hope. Yeah.
Like as far as growth wise, because a lot of our deer last year didn't do shit. Maybe even went backwards.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they make up for it this year. But it's getting down to that time where me and Landon always get scared because our lease up. You guys know where our lease is. And usually our lease comes up about July 1st. So we got about another month before we make a phone call to figure out if we're going to be back up there or not. But that's a scary thought.
Yeah. So just buy it.
Yeah, I will. If she would sell it, I already told her we'd buy it, but she won't sell it. But I don't know. We got some backup plans, I guess. We got a couple people we're going to talk to, try and get some small stuff around here. And even if we do get it, I'd still like to lock it down just so we have it just for.
Yeah, maybe even a couple other farms up around there. I mean, I'd be down to grab some up there if possible.
Yeah, yeah. I know we were talking a little bit with the neighbors and stuff. We're working on it, trying to stay up that way on that farm as long as we can, but we'll see. It's kind of out of our control until something happens.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Back when you killed Deuce, how many out-of-state vehicles were in the same hotel parking lot we were in?
Yeah. Well, the farmer that we leased from, that other ground right next to it from, he tells us every year which they see our redneck there, so I'm assuming they don't give a shit, but he said that he has people every year, whether they're in-state, out-of-state, pull in and say, oh, we want to lease your ground. And he always says, well, it's leased already. And they say, well, we'll double it. And luckily, he's one of the people that's good enough that's like, no, I've leased it to these guys for 15 years. I don't need your money, you know? Mm-hmm. So we're very fortunate in that aspect. But yeah, I know there's been several times, you know, where he tells, car pulled up. They wanted to lease it. You know, they offered, you know, it's 40 acres and they were offering, you know, $5,000. And it's like, fuck, you know, there's no way if he came in and told me and he was like, yeah, you got to give me $5,000 to lease this 40 acres. I'd be like, yeah, I couldn't do it. You know, it just wouldn't be feasible. So we're kind of fortunate in that aspect, but there's a lot of money thrown around, and I'm not saying we don't throw around some money to get on ground and get on different stuff, but you know, there's a lot of money thrown around when it comes to that deer ground up there. And that's it anymore. It's a pay to play game. And if you ain't paying, you know, you're either hunting public, which there's good deer on public, but I just, you know, just one of them things. And it's not even Iowa. I couldn't imagine Iowa. Like some of that ground up there, dude, I could not imagine what people come in and offer to kill deer. Astronomical, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But
oh boy, we have some calls to make.
A bunch,
yeah.
A bunch of hours.
We got to do it soon too. I mean,
yeah. I know a couple areas still that Nick's talked about asking. He's like, oh, you guys ought to ask up here that they waterfowl hunt a lot. And he's like, I don't think many people really care to deer hunt it, but I know. The one area he was talking about after we hunted with Macy and Sam, it's literally like their core area. So I was like, yeah, I'm staying away from that. Mm-hmm. I'm not asking permission on anything near it. And then someone be like, you know, oh, you know, I don't want to intrude.
I'm sure they wouldn't mind it, but yeah, probably right.
So I'm going to stay away from a lot of that. But I don't know. There's a couple of areas I wouldn't mind asking permission in some of that. Sorry, my new boom alarm. Getting used to it.
Yeah.
Got to spend a bunch of hours on Onyx.
Yep, that's what's going to happen. It's a bunch of hours on Onyx, but I'm not going to
HLRBO.
Yeah, shout out.
Spencer sent me one today that looked really good, but
what's the cost on it? I mean, I'm sure it's pretty crazy.
It was what was it?
I thought it was like 80 acres for like $1,600 or something.
Yeah, so it was it good if you're looking at any ground. Here's
the town and here's the property.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like they had pictures of longbeard strutting on a deer running through it, but it wasn't like
it wouldn't be it wouldn't for $20 an acre is what that is, not
somewhere in there.
So usually for halfway decent ground, you're looking at probably $15-$20 an acre minimum. Like most of that stuff up around the place we're at, I'm going to tell you're going to pay $30 to $50 depending on what it is.
Absolutely.
Well,
we'll see.
There's one up there east of where you all are for like $3,000, and it's all it is just a crop field.
Yeah.
There's like hardly any trees on it.
That's about how like Iowa is.
Yeah, it's been so weird watching, you know, Alan and just driving through Iowa and talking to different people we know up there. Even Spencer Hall's property, when we were driving through it and he was showing us different stuff, I was like, fuck, like we're used to hunting like timber, but up there it's like nothing but just you're hunting creek lines, little fingers of timber, and it's like, damn, it's different up there. I don't know. I feel like we overlook a lot of stuff because of that. Yeah, no, I definitely do. I'd tell you that. There's a lot of shit we drive by, I'm sure, and we're like, that ain't worth hunting. I'm sure there's probably a fucking big bastard just.
Yeah. Well, just like that one I sent you.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be perfect, but we'll have to look into it.
I mean, where Landon shot Gimpy, I'd have never thought that a deer like that would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, obviously, aside from us living right next to it and being able to drive there and see deer, if you drove by it, you'd be like, fuck, that place is. Yeah.
So as much as we're going to put some work on some leases, hopefully, and permission ground, I'm not going to forget the fact that we still have a good amount of public. I think I'm going to be a little bit more strategic with where I place my cameras and all that, but I think I'm mainly going to hunt early season on public where I know there's good food.
Yeah.
So I know one thing that I'll have to have Spencer with me along the way is get a drone up and try to look down in fields on velvet deer and see where they're at and then go from there with cameras and then get just the binos out at some point, but we'll have to see.
It's going to be about time to break them out. I know I haven't put them back in my truck yet, but I'm going to be tempted to here real soon because I've seen quite a few deer driving around lately, and I've been like, they're starting to put browse and beams.
They're starting to get hit again.
Yeah.
You know, like they kind of go through a lull, and then all of a sudden cars start. Yeah.
I mean, it'll be a few short weeks. I mean, you take, even three weeks a month from now, middle of June, you're going to see some. You're going to be able to tell like what most deer are gonna, what they're doing. So, yeah, it's going to be time to throw binos and glass back in the trucks and start looking again, which is I love that time of year, getting off work, even if you get off late and it don't get dark till 8:30 and you can still drive around and find deer in bean fields and stuff. It's really fun.
Yeah, my spots are all still wheat.
Yeah,
they're getting cut though.
No, this one.
Not that one.
I got flooded.
Oh,
pretty wet.
Well, I'm seeing
that'd be good for turkeys, but he'll probably bail them up right as they're hatching, I'd imagine.
That's what he was doing last year, didn't
he? Yeah. I bet you he'll run over two or three nests.
How many times did we go over there and you could just see the hens popped up?
Yeah.
There was like 5 or 6 different spots.
Well, their poults are going to be hatching and they'll be out here soon.
Hopefully.
When do they usually hatch?
Takes them 28 days to when they start sitting on the nest. So, I mean, I don't know. You say birds are still kind of gobbling and hens are walking around early morning. I mean, some hens may just now be starting to lay or, just now go to sitting on a nest. And, you're talking 28 days from now. That field's going to be cut, I would imagine. But maybe not. But I'd say you're going to see some hatch in the next two weeks early, possibly. But I'm going to say 3 weeks to a month. Probably 3 weeks to be safe.
Well, if we keep getting all this rain, he's not going to be able to cut it.
Yeah.
And then that's just going to keep pushing the beans back. And guess what that means?
Yeah.
Good beans on my side.
Yeah.
Longer beans on my side.
Yeah, that's true.
Because that's just how it is over there. He always plants late.
Yeah.
And I've got green beans all.
Are you going to plant your food plot again?
I don't know. Me and Brady have been talking. We might just let him drill beans in it.
Yeah. We've
and buy it or
we've really debated.
I would do beans. I would let him plant it and then buy off what he had.
Well, I give him pay, but
oh yeah, that's right.
I was going to say whether he wants
an acre.
It's like
if he would.
Can we fence off it with an electric fence and then
I'm sure
open
we could, but
we should do that.
Yeah, but what if it floods again?
Well, you run that risk, I guess.
I'll run that risk every year.
I would say if he's going to drill beans in it late, like I'm assuming he's going to do, otherwise he's not going to get anything in at this point. So, especially with the rain we got coming, I'd say if he would put in beans, I would take even where your food plot is, let him plant it, and I would
stuff.
Yeah, I would still put a crimson clover through it or
turnip.
Yeah, turnip or a radish, a daikon radish or something. But I would take and just, whether it's hay or we got to give him $1,000 or whatever, I'd buy 2 or 3 acres over there and just let it rip.
I don't know if I'll be able to get that far with it though.
You don't think?
No, the only reason he lets me have that part for what I give him is because it normally stays wet.
Right.
He doesn't get much out of it anyway.
Even an acre of beans would do.
As long as I can get it screened off.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
Well, right now there's nothing in there, so I mean we could go back there and screen it off right now. Well, I mean it's raining right now, so it'd be kind of dumb, but
yeah. You also probably couldn't screen it if he's gonna plant it.
I don't know. It gets me excited to get out there with the chainsaw and hopefully a disc or two.
Could you plant it? Just put it in a drill and drill it yourself?
no,
No,
because I don't even know if he's gonna leave us a path.
Yeah, it's a weird. It's one of them things that
here's the field.
Yeah.
There's a creek and then the river. My food plot's all the way in the back corner.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to walk like 400 to 500 yards just to get back in there.
It's just it's one of them weird situations where it's not like you can't piss the farmer off, and it's kind of you don't want to ask for too much because at some point it's going to get
too far.
So you're not going to be able to plant Egyptian wheat then?
No.
Right.
I mean, I could if I went back there and.
Yeah, but then if he had beans put in, if he already had drilled in beans where you could just have seeded it right in with his beans on a path, but otherwise how do you hear boom?
Mm-hmm.
How he would have to drill through your Egyptian wheat. It would. I don't know. We'll have to figure it out based on when he cuts that wheat and what he does.
Would it really affect the Egyptian wheat? Because that Egyptian wheat grows. I mean, I thought it grew a lot faster than anything else, really. So it would shade out. I would think the beans. I mean,
I think it would be fine. It just probably wouldn't get as tall as it needs to be.
Yeah, I was gonna say it would be fine. It's just it's getting like him planning like the inconvenience to him if he has to go around it or that when you start getting inconvenience to the people like that's when you really start fucking pissing them off.
We haven't even really decided on how we're gonna go about, because the stalk, it's almost like a corn stalk, and I don't know if we're gonna burn it.
At your gut. Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna burn it and then till it or what we're gonna do with it because we can't just go in and till it or it's gonna get.
What we really need to do, because I know what you're talking about, is we need to just go and put the miscanthus in because it'll just stay. No. That way, every year we don't have to.
Yeah. See, I can't do that.
Yeah. But see, it takes you got to have an actual planter because you plant like it's
a big ball.
Yeah. So, I mean, but it would take time, but I feel like if we did that up there, it'd be way worth it compared to putting the Egyptian wheat in it every year, blind spot or whatever some of them companies. So, in my opinion, anyways.
Yeah. I mean, I can do some looking and see because, I mean, the Egyptian wheat was so nice. It's like, what, 12 feet tall?
Yeah.
14?
He
didn't plant any of your plots, did he?
Who?
The farmer up there.
No.
He just planted
I think
big
next
shit.
year. I think next year I'll have to do it for sure. But this year I was kind of uncertain. But
is it corn?
For sure. Yeah.
Should have done it.
Nah, I don't know. Corn's just so expensive. But I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd have been cool and it'd have been worth it. But man, it just.
How big is it?
What?
Like your plot.
If he would have planted,
mine is a little over an acre, and then we have another one that's a little over an acre. So I mean,
had about $900 in it.
Well, then there's another on the other farm. I probably would have put in another acre.
Yeah,
but it's about $450 an acre for corn
minimum.
Well,
I'd say
that's up there. I think the farmer next to us that was buying crop was. I think it was $800 or $900.
Yeah, I mean you're talking about Matt. What Matt was planting. I'm not saying Matt did it wrong at all. I'm sure he did it perfectly fine. Mm-hmm. But I know like our farmer up there when he plants corn to him is $800 minimum. Andy Clay said the same thing. He said if you were to come in and tell me you wanted to buy an acre of corn from me and I was going to break even, he said $800 an acre, and he said I don't do shit to break even. So, because at that point, if you left, it's still standing, he has to come back in later, whether he brings his tractor in just to disc under 1 acre of corn. He's like, it's just not
worth it.
Yep.
And I think like, I may take a week off, go up there and help him. That way I can kind of,
And if in that case, if we're going to do it up there next year, we need to just rent a drill up there, take a tractor up and do it ourselves.
We've looked into that, but some of the county conservations or departments have kind of gotten away from that because, people would rent it, tear it up, and it costs more to keep it running than.
Well, I know where 2 drills are at that we could take up there and plant with. So we'll just have to we'll have to schedule it better next year and go.
I think I might see if, I don't know. Well, our farms and beans, see if someone could slip over and plant the food plots on corn. That'd be pretty cool.
That would be sick. But no, we're slowly getting it dialed in. But a lot's in the works for this season. We got seems like we got a lot of time till season, but I feel like it's going to be a snap of a finger, and it's going to be quick. We're going to be in the heat of things. And I know, especially as soon as, my whole June's taken up pretty much. We got the bow shoot. I know we got a bow shoot like the 15th. I got a wedding that next weekend, and then the weekend after that was something else, or all of my June's taken up. So it's literally going to be like this weekend, next weekend, then June's going to be gone, and then it's going to be July, and it's going to be like, okay, we got to start throwing cameras out. We got to start getting ready to spray stuff. We got to start getting seed ready to go for fall plots. And I don't know. I know there's a couple places this year that we're thinking about doing some test stuff of planting early, like possibly planting like mid to last week of July instead of waiting to that like first or second week of August, just to try and catch that little bit of rain. That seems like we get a little bit of rain every year, like into July, and then August is just shit and into September. So.
When did you plant Spencer's last year?
I did it August 6th.
Yeah. But you caught
I caught 8 inches of rain.
Yeah.
In 2 days.
In one day.
Yeah. So, I mean, his made it, but the only problem you have with, I feel you're better to seed less if you plant early because, well, I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth on it because if you plant early, like say you did plant like that second or third week of July or the first week of August, and it gets too big like yours did last year, where the turnips are like basketballs or softballs are bigger, they can't pull them up and they can't eat them. They may take a bite out of them, and then you got a rotten turnip. You know what I'm saying? You're better to have
a lot of rotten turnips and radishes.
Yeah, and the stalks will get so big it'd be like eating a giant piece of celery, and they don't like that shit. They like the tender, they like the small tender stuff. So it would kind of be like a starvation.
Yeah, you guys are making me think I need to get into that property we planted last year and plant that as soon as possible. I think.
Yeah.
Maybe not turnips then, but something.
Yeah. So I mean, like a lot of like deer that, say we'll look at what Curls did last year. I would rather plant Spencer's the second or third week of August to where it's 2 inches tall opening day instead of, 18 inches tall, because I think especially they'll do that green to green transfer. Well, they'll go from eating the beans that are there, which his beans may be early enough this year to where they're still, they're still eating the leaves and the shit off of the beans instead of.
But his area too, I think it kind of comes down to like those microclimates, because I think your area is going to do great even if we have a pretty dry.
Sure, yeah,
yeah. Well, the place I'm talking about,
it's hill country.
If it's a dry summer, you better plant early and just hope that there's more rain throughout just to keep it up.
Yeah, where you're talking, I feel like it would be a good one to plant early, like that third week of July. I think we ought to probably have seed in the ground. I think
I need to get out there and just go kill everything I can, and then go back and till it up and then plant it.
Yeah,
go spray it now.
Yeah. Yeah,
but it's going to be, I think one thing we really need to start doing too is we're going to have to start looking at pictures from last year. It's going to be the perfect time where we're going to start going back through deer, saying this deer did this, what deer, if he shows up and he's this big or he shows up and he's this age, what are we going to do? And if we are targeting this deer, how are we planting to kill him? Because it's going to be time to really start getting strategic with, what the deer did last year and what kind of age they're going to be this year.
Yep.
And I can think of several deer off the top of my head that if they do the same shit they did last year and we plant accordingly, we're going to kill them.
Mm-hmm. In the same plot.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I'm excited.
And they looked alike last year.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they were good.
Yeah.
How old do you think they were?
I don't know. It depends on the deer. I mean, if
the fake 8.
3, maybe.
D8.
I'd say both.
They're probably
dual 3-year-olds.
brothers.
Yeah.
in all honesty.
I was gonna say, as 4-year-olds, they may blow up, and especially you haven't shot a buck with your bow in several years now. I'd say you get just on the parcel and where it's at. If one of them deer make a good enough jump as a 4-year-old, I would tell you you'd be dumb not to shoot one. But that's also dependent on what your other deer does. And I know Alan in Iowa's got, a number of deer that we're going to be looking for again this year, and we're going to have to plant accordingly to what they're doing. So it's time to start. It's really here. It's going to be time to start getting strategic with it and start fucking nailing them down. Because, Mark Jury says it best. You kill them in the off season. All you do is just shoot, you draw back and shoot them when you're hunting, but you really kill them in the off season.
It's time to get cameras out. Well, I'm excited
You're getting a little ahead of yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I want to get cameras out and just see what the heck's growing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I pull. Yeah.
Yeah, you had that.
Yeah, Spencer's camera about went underwater.
Yeah, you sent me a photo, and there's like what used to be, pristine bottom land is just like 2 feet of water and a wood duck float.
That was more than 2 feet of water.
Well, at least. Well,
the craziest part of how fast it went down. It literally went down in like 12 hours, and there was a deer in there. Like 12 hours later, it was so weird.
Yeah, my uncle was like, "What the fuck am I looking at? I look like I'm looking at a pond." I said, "That's not a pond."
Yeah, I sent it to Nick. I said, "New timber hole."
What did he say?
And he started laughing, and he's like, "How high is that water?" I'm like, "I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm surprised it's up that high. I wouldn't have guessed it'd have been, but."
Yeah, that camera's probably 5.5 foot off the ground too.
Isn't there a salt lick there too?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It got refreshed.
Yeah.
No doubt.
But yeah, it was funny. So, yeah, a lot of big things coming. Like I said, I feel like if everyone's listening and getting kind of antsy, it's about time to start getting antsy and start getting ready for it. So
it's time.
It is. It's coming. It's going to be, we got Memorial Weekend coming up, and that's going to be a fun weekend. And then after that, that's when I start putting my head down and start trying to figure some stuff out. So it's coming, whether we're ready for it or not. We'll make do, I guess.
Yeah, and I guess on episode 25, we'll recap all the bird hunting from this year whenever the whole team's back, and that'll be fun.
We got our 6th mic in, so we'll have to get Landon and Matt back in, and then it'll be episode 25, episode 26, one of the two, because I would like to have Austin Graxall on one of them.
He can't make it next week.
So. He can't. That dude's so busy. We're just gonna have to tell him to give us a date.
Pretty much.
Brendan Ogletree's the same way. I'd love to get Brendan on, but he's
cool
gonna be another one where it's gonna be like, just shoot us a Saturday night or something, and we're gonna have to get one.
Tell us when you're free.
Yeah.
Heck, he's got 3 kids. Austin does.
Yeah, 3 kids, a wife, and 2 jobs.
I texted him today, "Hey, you gonna be on tonight?" He goes, "It's my wife's birthday, and she will murder me."
Yeah, it makes sense. I know what that's like.
Yeah. Adam's gonna go home and get killed.
This is supposed to be an early one. We'll be all right.
Yeah.
Last week was
early.
Yeah, last week. Well, you guys went until like 11 o'clock, and not later than that.
It was a 2.5-hour episode last week.
Yeah, it was good though. I finished the last bit of it, and
it was fun.
That was some funny stories.
Yeah, it was fun. So
awesome.
Yep. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap this one up here. We're running up on 50 minutes. So good episode, good little BS. It was kind of BS session, but we ended up talking about some deer hunting and getting ready for deer. So I like it. But we'll be back on regular topic, a regular guest for next week, hopefully. So hopefully everyone enjoyed this episode.
Yeah, talking a lot about hunting leases, and you can find yours
at hlrbo.com.
Oh, yeah.
Check it out.
For United States and Canada.
Yep. Spencer's been looking at a couple. He sent me a few. I've looked at a couple. So, yeah, it's free to anyone that just wants to make an account. It's free. You can view listings and everything.
You can't message until you
get you can't message until you get the subscription. But for what you get with that subscription, to be able to message as many landowners as you can, it's kind of a...
Well, you can message... anyone.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a no-brainer. Is if you're looking to get away from public, or looking to step away from maybe an overpressured family farm and get into hunting mature deer, I would look into HLRBO. So
that's good.
Shout out to them.
How much is the subscription?
I want to say the goal, or whatever their highest,
$150.
Yeah, I want to say whatever their highest one is, $150 a year. It'd be like
Platinum's higher, but
It'd be like paying for white pages. Like if you're going to sit down and make a bunch of phone calls, you're going to pay $130 a year. Mm-hmm. So at least this, I mean, there's thousands of leases on there. Mm-hmm. I mean, if
people that are actually willing to put up the ground. I mean, you can call hundreds of people and we hunt.
Right. Yeah, it's people who are willing to put up ground. So check them out. And then Lowdown Game Viewers, I'm hoping to get them on an episode here in the next 5 or 10 episodes. Talk a little bit about that with trail cameras.
I'm excited to use those. I really want to check them out.
Yep. So they're a great company. Check them out. They're honestly really beneficial for people who are like, we don't run many cell cameras, me and Landon don't anymore, so like being able to save pictures and go through and check them on the go is a must. So check out Lowdown Game Viewers. Other than that, that's all our sponsors. So
awesome. Sweet.
Very good. Wrap your tag around the main beam. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. The podcast is brought to you by HLRBO. As hunters, we are always looking for new places to find mature bucks. You can find leases all across the U.S. and Canada. The best part is it's 100% free to sign up. Get started and find your next property today.